Battlers, I am back. Welcome to another episode of the Knighted Podcast Match Rewind Edition. But when it comes to hard work, Battlers, and getting the job done right, none do it better than our good mates at ABC Developments. And sorry, not ABC Developments. Sorry, they do another show, Lou. I'm in a tailspin. Sorry. We're going to rewind that. When it comes to hard work and getting the job done right, Battlers, none do it better than our good mates at A+ Contracting in Polywelding. They both do a great job. Unlike the Newcastle Knights, I can't use that line anymore, Lou. A+ Contracting, however, blings. God, I'm all over the place, Lou.
Look out. Take a deep breath.
Oh, my God.
Have a drink.
A+ Contracting brings that same level of dedication to the mining and civil projects industry. They are the experts you need for professional, cost-effective, and comprehensive contracting services. They will do the hard yards, Battlers, and do a much better job than I'm currently doing in an ad read, which I've been doing for the last 26 weeks straight, and I still butchered it.
You need some energy there, Lincoln.
I do need some energy. We're going to get there. But look, all right, Battlers, another what can only be described once more as a cathartic episode. It has become the tale of 2025. I feel like I'm no longer a rugby league Newcastle Knights podcast, and I'm really starting to lean to the fact that I'm becoming a bit of a rugby league therapist at this point. Boy, oh boy, the Newcastle Knights, what is it now, our 7th straight loss? Old Boys Day, back home, our last game at McDonald Jones Stadium. Beautiful rugby league conditions to play some rugby league football, and to sprinkle it on top of that, sold out McDonald Jones Stadium. And what do we get? We get a clinic put on us once more. We should be used to it. You know, in our heads we kind of are, but our hearts are still broken. The Brisbane Broncos coming to town. Putting
a real poo slinger.
An absolute, in the best way. It was just, you know how I feel about the Brisbane Broncos. There's going to be, I don't know how we're going to unbox this one. I don't want to be needlessly negative, but geez Louise, there wasn't much to get excited about in this game.
Jeez Louise.
It wasn't good, Battlers. It wasn't good. But look, before we go sink our teeth into that game, we'll be taking a look at this week's Knighted News. We'll be taking a look at your LGB Marine Titanium Forge Player of the Week. I'll be giving you my Paycat Knighted Players of the Week and answering your Get Out Alive fire safety training burning questions. So, Battlers, sit back and get ready as we take a look at another absolutely heartbreaking loss once more in the 2025 season. Let's go. All right, Battlers. First things first this week, and I'm excited. This is the only thing giving me a little bit of energy. We're talking about energy. We're talking about Russ energy, baby. That's right. Good mate of mine, huge friend of the show, and you know him. You love him. Our boy Russ Eats. I'm so proud of our boy Russ. He's a battler, an absolute Newcastle Knights diehard. He's got his own energy drink, the Mad Dog. We all know him, I know. Round of applause for our boy Russ. He's killing it. How good is it to see a battler kicking goals? Here he is doing food reviews. They're fucking hilarious. And now he's got his own energy drink. And right before they hit the shelves, Russ hit me up. I got the package arrived today, so I've had a couple put on ice. And I'm going to do a bit of a taste test right here. Haven't tasted them yet. I've been very keen. So let's do the first one. We got right here, Battlers, the original, the OG. And we see our boy on the can here. Well, you can see a better view right there, the graphic there, the green one. All right, let's give this a bit of a taste test, Luke. What have we got? Full sugar too. None of this other rubbish.
I'm excited.
Oh, this is what Russ, brother, I needed this 48 hours ago, mate, when we got pounded by the Broncos.
That's what winning tastes like.
Oh.
What flavors are you getting there, Lincoln?
Oh, I'm not really good when it comes to flavors. All I know is it tastes good or it tastes bad. I haven't really got a sophisticated palate, but boy, that's yummy. All right, well, that's the original. Kicking it off next, we've got the Icy Twist.
You're not sleeping tonight?
I'm not sleeping tonight. You might get the most energetic link you've ever seen after the Bronco. This couldn't have come in more clutch for me at the moment. All right, the Icy Twist. Ooh. Ooh, I like that, Russ. Huh?
He loves his tang. Is it got tang?
It's got, I don't know what it's got, but it's got it. Wow. Good stuff. Battlers, get around our boy Russ Eats. Killing it. Now, these, a little bird has told me, these will be possibly available at your local 7-Eleven this Friday. Keep an eye out. Support a fellow battler. Here's a guy that has just risen through the ranks, and here he is. He's got his own goddamn energy drink. What is going on? Seriously, so proud of our boy Russ. Huge friend of the podcast, diehard Knight supporter. Can't wait to be doing some content with this guy moving forward. We've been wanting to do it for a long, long time. Speaking with him today, we're going to get something done. So keep your eyes peeled for Russ Eats in the Knighted. Your boy Lincoln Russ doing some stuff. But yes, huge shout out. Again, first things first, this week brought to you by our good mates at Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts, which is Newcastle's Lake Macquarie's and the Hunter's highest rated mixed martial arts gym with more than 350 Google 5-star reviews. Beginners are welcomed into their safe, inclusive, and most importantly, fun training center. Head coach Jess Landry's experience includes being directly trained by UFC veterans as well as another wrestling coach for the Sydney Roosters. Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts is centrally located in Cardiff, baby, right beside the Cardiff train station, offering day and night classes for kids, teens, and adults, including Muay Thai kickboxing, gi and no-gi, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and mixed martial arts. So make sure you book your free trial right now by visiting their website at newcastlemma.com.au. Oh my God, these energy drinks are fucking hit me. Holy shit.
Here we go.
Fucking anything can happen now. God damn. All right, battlers, if you haven't done so already, if you're watching the live stream, give it a big old thumbs up. Truly, it really does help us out. We are all feeling down in the dumps at the moment. You know what? Your boy Link has been doing some tough carries. Lou and I, is there any harder working content creators and podcasters in the rugby league space at the moment than us? Not only are we giving you 2 shows a week, and then we double down and we give you a night's watch on top of that. And you just keep losing. We just keep losing football games, but we keep turning up. So make sure you give us a big old thumbs up. Really helps us out. And no matter where you're wasting your time, I can guarantee you we are there. So whatever social media platform that is, make sure you go find us out, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Does help us out. Gets the viewership up, keeps the sponsors happy, keeps the lights on. Make sure you do that for us. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated.
Before you move on, Lincoln, I just need to read this comment. Jamie wrote to us saying, thanks to the Knighted Bar and all the battlers for all your support during the hardest time in my life. We lost a fellow battler last night. My dad, 6'10", last night, passed away very peacefully with all his kids around him.
Oh, Jamie, brother. I've been reaching out to our boy Jamie there for a while. The Newcastle Knights looking after him. So sad, mate, to hear Jamie Senior passed that terrible disease, that brain cancer, and the Newcastle Knights. I'm so stoked that they got him in there, and with the Mark Hughes Foundation, got him around the boys. Absolutely terrible, mate. As I said, Lou and I's thoughts are completely with you, mate.
Thinking of you, Jamie.
Absolutely, pal. And just you wait, mate. We're going to get you in here, and you're going to do a night's watch with Link, mate. You're going to do it, and it's going to be a day to remember, pal. And I guarantee your dad, mate, he'll be watching us watch the game, mate, and hopefully we get a win. Hopefully we get a win, brother. But yeah, so thoughts are with you, pal. Thoughts are with you, buddy. All right, let's lift your moods, pal. Let's talk a little bit about the Knighted news this week. Now, news coming out this week that Tyrone Thompson, who Leo Thompson's twin brother, we got him across from was it Waikato Chiefs? I think it was the rugby team. Anyways, signed 31st of October 2024 on a development contract. He's only managed 3 NRL appearances, but his time at the Newcastle Knights is done. Told he's no spot for him moving forward. We all know his brother Leo is off to the Bulldogs on a lucrative $800K a year contract. I think we're all hoping and praying that the arrival of Tyrone would ultimately keep his brother here, but it was only a mere 2 months later. It was around Christmas time, wasn't it? think the news came out. He'd been signed by the Bulldogs. And then we thought, well, if we're going to lose Leo, who better than to step into his place? We got a genetic clone of the man he shared a womb with for 9 months. Unfortunately, hasn't paid out. Look, I haven't seen a lot and heard a lot of him in New South Wales Cup, so clearly not banging down the door. I said only the 3 NRL appearances this year, which kind of sucks. So I know forward stocks have been particularly low, but yes, he will be as well as I think Adam Elliott. He's been told he's no longer required. No deals have been done there. We know Jack Hetherington's also on that list. So 3 forwards that will be cut from the roster for the Newcastle Knights moving into 2026. But here's a guy that we are going to sign on a development contract, Battlers, and that's 23-year-old Dolphins hooker Harrison Graham. 11 NRL game experience, 5 NRL games thus far in 2025. I don't know what happened in 2024. Didn't play a game. I don't know if it was injury or whatnot. But debuted in 2023. Development contract again in the hooker position. So obviously a role with, Jaden Brayley. Obviously departing the club. We know Sandor Smith is very close to inking or signing that deal. I don't know if the deal might be done. Who knows? And we're in the cooling off period. But it's an area obviously they're looking to bolster. Again, don't know a huge amount about this guy. It's going to be a wait and see prospect, isn't it? With this guy. So another guy, we're going to be seeing run around Reggie's. Who knows? He might impress enough in preseason. But one to keep an eye out for, our boy Harrison Graham. Now, this is absolutely huge. This is some good news to talk about, Battlers. Matt Lantry, the coach for the Maitland Pickers, will be returning in a part-time capacity as the SG ball coach next season. So Matt, back in 2015 and 2016, I believe, was our SG ball coach. Talk about kicking goals in the Newcastle Rugby League scene. What do we got here? The last 3 premierships for the Maitland Pickers and already secured the 2025 minor premiership for the Maitland Pickers. So very good coaching pedigree. People that I've talked to about Matt Lantry have spoken nothing but great things about him. Nothing but great things. Could not speak more highly of him. I know a lot of the when we were talking about head coach options, his name was even floated around. There was a lot of people mentioning Matt Lantry's name. So he's a guy that I think would more than likely, hopefully in the Newcastle system, but later on down the track could potentially be an NRL coach. His pedigree is that good. His resume speaks for itself. As I said, people that I've spoken to close to Matt and dealt with Matt have said nothing but good things. The guy is a really good operator. We all talked about the Peter Parr effect and the pathway systems for the Newcastle Knights and the fruits it's bearing to have a guy like this back in the building. Oh, something to get excited about, Battlers. Something to get excited about, all right? Now, we're going to remind me, Lou, put a note in. I really got to get our boy Lockie in Newcastle Knights Juniors page. I keep plugging him. He does a sensational job. I want to get him on. I want to do a Pathways episode. I really want to shine a light on some of these up-and-coming youngsters that we got. Maybe some names to put in the back of your mind that maybe in a season or two, might be making the NRL debut. So, but yes, this one's huge, Battlers. Don't sleep on this one. Huge appointment to get Matt back into the Newcastle Knights system once more. All right, that'll wrap it up for this week's Night of News. Let's do it. This is the episode I've dreaded the most. It's only because Russ has come in clutch here and he sort of perked me way up. You might have got a really, really depresso link this week. But yes, we're going to talk about it. The Brisbane Broncos come into town and defeating the Newcastle Knights 46 points to 12.
I've still got that bloody song stuck in my head.
Oh.
I was having nightmares listening to it over and over again.
Yeah.
It's worse than the Telstra ad.
Oh, infinitely worse. Infinitely worse. Huge shout out to all the battlers who tuned into the Knights Watch. I know there's probably a couple of Broncos supporters sitting in there watching and waiting.
When 20 sales have skyrocketed with all the visitors we've had this year.
Yes, look, good mates of mine, Brett and Dom. They are idiots. They are dickheads. They do support a shit club, but they were good company. They were good sports. It was nice to have them in here, but yes, it would have been better under certain circumstances. They're actually going to be back. We've got our big NFL draft on which I completely forgot about, Saturday night, and I got to host that again. So that's gonna be fun. I'm sure they're going to be talking about that. I'm probably going to be playing the fucking highlights in here once more. But yes, as I was saying before, Sunday afternoon, Old Boys Day, packed out McDonald Jones Stadium, and this is what we dished up. You know, we talked about it on the Match Rewind show, and I was saying when what did I say? What was that fucking really what was I saying? Something about when hope is gone, so is effort. Something along those lines. Anyways,
Yeah, sounds about right.
it was something far more poetic than that. But that just crept into this game. I think we're all sitting at this point. We hate saying it. I don't like saying it. I hate seeing it. I think the Newcastle Knights have put the cue in the rack. There's nothing left to play for. I was hoping the old boys would be enough. The wooden spoon that, you know, we can still get, even though, Jesus Christ, didn't I rustle some feathers with those tweets I put out about the Titans? That got taken out of context.
Oopsie.
Boy, oh boy, battlers. Anyways, we'll get back. We'll probably circle back to that. But yes, the Broncos right from the get-go, Katoni Staggs just after, around the 2-minute mark, scores quite easily on that right edge. That left edge, well, I guess the whole everything was just fucking really clunky and disconnected. Within the first couple of minutes, we're going, oh boy, we're in a bit of rugby league trouble here. And then it was 5 or so minutes later, Karapani on the other side of the field just torched us. It's not like, you know, the Broncos saw a chink in the armor for the Newcastle Knights. It was just no armor. That was a game we're watching, zero Nitanium. Zero. Like none. I suppose we better do it. I haven't even done this. This is going to be a live reaction to some of the statistics, because I was reading out some of the halftime statistics during the Knights watch, and they weren't pretty then, and I don't think they're going to get any prettier now.
Take another Ross Energy.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea.
Just to ease the news.
God, Russ, I've needed you now more than ever, pal. All right. For the Newcastle Knights, 47% possession, 53 to the Broncos. No surprise there. 78% completion for the Broncos. Not pretty good, I guess. Not that's outstanding, but pretty good. Only 65 for the Knights, which is no surprise whatsoever. The Broncos, 181 runs for 1,910 meters. The Knights only couldn't even manage 1,500, only 1,432. Again, we spoke about post-contact meters. The Newcastle Knights still only 20 odd post-contact meters less. So we're winning that battle. But this is massive. 14 line breaks to the Brisbane Broncos compared to our 5. We had a few. We had some opportunities. We're going to talk about these opportunities that we butchered, but oh boy, 55 tackle breaks to the Broncos. No surprise whatsoever. 40 for the Newcastle Knights. 14 offloads, so a bit of second phase play by the Newcastle Knights, which was a bit pleasing. I think that was in my lock it in too. Only 8 for the Broncos. 62% kick defusal for both teams. 84% tackle efficiency. That's surprising. We made an extra 40 tackles with 344. 55 missed, however. The Broncos, though, 31 ineffective tackles to our 10. 14 errors, absolutely killed us. That was some of the most crucial errors in this game. But yes, now what we're going to do, we're going to lead with a voicemail into my next point here.
Hey, it's Tompy. Unfortunately, another loss again. I don't get it. We just have parts where we look good and then almost score and just blow it every time. It's happened a couple of times now the last few weeks. I just am trying to work out what we need to do to be able to get those final moments right.
Oh, Tompy, yes, you're exactly right. Execution fit tackle plays was so bad. So bad. There was actually one point in the game there. James Schiller, huge line break, throws the ball to Jake Arthur. Again, wasn't the prettiest pass, but he got hands on it. He should have absolutely caught that ball. Would have been a try. There's one point there. It could have been 18 to 20, 2 points down. And who knows what could have possibly happened. We've got a bit of belief in us. We could have gone on, get a bit of momentum, because there was momentum swings in this game. It wasn't like other games where we've watched and we've just pounded into the core of the earth and we're just strangled out of the game. There were plenty of opportunities the Broncos gave us in this game. And even the boys that were in here, they were certainly getting a little bit worried, thinking, you know what? If the Knights iced a couple of these opportunities, they're in this. And I completely agreed with them. We're just absolutely our own worst enemy. I reckon easily 3, potentially 4 bomb tries that we just left out there. And that Jake Arthur one, that one particularly hurt. Again, we could have gone, 18 to 20. So right on the Broncos there. The very next set, I think it was the Payne Haas try. So basically a 12-point swing at that point, and that was really the death nail for us. They just, from that point on, blew us off the park. And yeah, I don't know what you do, Tompy. I genuinely don't know what you do. I think, as I say, I think just psychologically at this point, it sucks to say, and no player is going to admit it, and the coach isn't going to admit it, but it's becoming evidently so that the effort areas just are not there. One thing we could so proudly hang our hat on in 2025 for the Newcastle Knights is, you know what? Our attack stinks. It is poor, but we were very stoic defenders. Our attack did us no favors, but the fact that we were at one point a couple months ago, I think we were, top 3, top 4 defensive teams in the league. Well, that is just all but evaporated. Some of the scores that we've had put on us, I'd hate to know. We must have leaked over 150 points in the last 4 or 5 weeks. It is just crazy. And that's what I was saying. I really feel that loss, that Lekaheliasima try, ever since that moment, I know, again, this was another post that got taken out of context. I know we haven't been great all year, but that we really fell off a cliff. That Warriors game, that's the last time we've been super competitive in a game, and we just haven't been the same since. Like that just rocked us to our foundations, and we've just never bounced back. And you double that down, I think, with the fact you haven't got this finals carrot dangled in front of the team, it's just spiraling. Injuries and call it excuses, mitigating circumstances, whatever it is. It's just got bad to worse, which is super disappointing because there's still plenty to play for in the back end of the season. You want to finish strong. You don't want to go finish the season like this. Heaven forbid, it probably will happen. But if we play another couple of games like this, that's like over 2 months of just absolute garbage football, which isn't going to do us any favors heading into 2026 whatsoever. But yeah, again, that was what's so disappointing. We had so many opportunities. I don't think the Broncos would be sitting there. I know the scoreline was certainly flattering to them, but geez, we score a couple of tries there. It doesn't look anywhere near as bad. I don't think the Broncos would be sitting there thinking they played the best game ever. But maybe I should have got a little bit more scared. Lou, did you see the footage of the Broncos, the huge turnout they had at the Pickers for that training session?
I did.
And then even on the bus leaving, that fucking hurt. And I think Nilso put something out about Newcastle Airport giving them a big fucking welcoming. What is that about?
Missed that one.
Oh, yeah. They're fucking... Yeah, they had this big welcome ceremony. I'm like, what's this about? Don't fucking welcome them there. You should be throwing stuff at them. Why are we welcoming the Brisbane Broncos in the Newcastle? What's that about?
Throwing horse poo at them.
Oh, not just human poo. Oh, I couldn't believe it. What are we doing here? You're doing this no face. I don't know what's going on. Is the fucking the big boss of the airport a bloody Broncos supporter or something? I couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. Crazy. Anyways, maybe that was a precursor because unfortunately our girls, they unfortunately had a really poor second half. And yeah, it just rolled on into the boys' game. It just really bad day for me as a person who hates the Brisbane Broncos and loves the Newcastle Knights. I really don't know what more to say, Battlers. Like truly. I don't know if you're trying to look to me for any kind of wisdom or you want me to rage and get salty about it. so not numb and used to it. That's not the right word. It's just at this point, it's just this growing inevitability that you know what's coming. And maybe I'm just in denial. I think there's quite a few comments I've had, Lou, about people saying that I'm in denial. That I put that post out because when that news dropped and went, oh, it's sold out. And this is what I keep saying. This is going to lead me to my next point about the game being sold out. Now, Battlers, this is going to be a United first. Now, I listen to the people, okay? I listen, and I've tallied the votes, all right? Now, this week, your Nitanium Forge Player of the Week goes to you guys. That's right. With an absolutely resounding amount of votes. There was barely any players. It was everyone saying to all the battlers that turned up the McDonald Jones Stadium. So there you go. No player wins the Nitanium Forge Player of the Week. It goes to you. Everyone who went to that game at McDonald Jones Stadium and everyone who tuned in to watch that game, this one goes out to you. 25,814 crowd attendance. I kept saying it. I said it earlier in the year. We need to give the Newcastle Knights a team they need. We need to give the Newcastle Knights a crowd they need, not one they deserve. Because the way they performed, they did not deserve to have nearly 26,000 people. Like, you look at the Gold Coast Titans. I don't like the Gold Coast Titans. And that press conference by Desi and Adjourno saying, mate, the whole place was packed with bloody WAR supporters. And they're at the bottom of the table too. Well, that ain't going to happen to us. We still turn up. And you know what? You guys deserve this award. You absolutely do. Unfortunately, the Newcastle Knights, the second worst home record in our existence, only beaten by 2016, which we only won one game. 2 wins the whole year. 2 Thursday night games against the Dolphins in round 2 and then round 14 against the Sea Eagles. That's it. We've had 2 wins at home. Hashtag defend the kingdom. They better not use that next year. We got to rebrand that shit. But yeah, crazy. And this is why, and I don't say this, because I'm a one-eyed Knight supporter. We really are the greatest fucking supporter base on the planet. And it was just so super disappointing that you had guys, Jaden Brayley, Kai Pearce-Paul, Leo Thompson. This is their last game as a Newcastle Knight at McDonald Jones Stadium, and I would like to think the team would not only want to please the crowd, but please these guys, send them off. Packed out. It's not like the place was fucking empty. Crazy. The footage, before the game was kicked off, I was quietly confident. I'm thinking, yeah, the stars are aligning. The ambush is on. How fucking silly am I? Who would listen to me, right? Seriously, who would listen to me? I don't know why you keep turning up, Atlas. You just go and link. You're fucking delusional. Am I just full of hopium? Am I? Someone called me a hopium dealer. Lou, did you see that?
That's the word of the week.
Hopium dealer. Yeah, I like that one. Bona fide hopium dealer.
Joseph said, can see why you don't do food reviews.
Yeah. I'd have something that was pretty ordinary. And you go, oh, yeah, Link said it was pretty good. And you'd eat and go, what the fuck? This is bang average, brother. Oh, mate, you got, yeah. To be in a position to do what I do week in, week out, mate, in seasons like this, you got to be, mate. How easy would it be to get up here and be a Penrith supporter and just talk about the wins or a Storm supporter, Rooster supporter? It'd be bloody easy, mate. Well, you know what? I'm doing the hard yards now because I'll look back. We'll all look back one day and we go, you know what? We rode through that fucking shitstorm in 2025, but you know what? We get the revel in victory. So he's got to remember these shit times. So when the good ones turn up, it puts it all in perspective.
I've seen a lot of battlers aren't renewing their membership next year.
Oh, that was another thing. Now, 10 points to the battler. I don't know if you can quickly look it up, Lou. The membership numbers for this year, I swear, didn't we broke membership records earlier in the year? I swear we did. Did we break 30K? Let me know. First battler in the comments, drop it in there. I want to know. 10 points goes out to you. The race is on. That's another disappointing thing. Like, yeah, they really don't. I don't know. Am I too harsh in saying that? They I guess they don't deserve. The way they're playing, they don't deserve the support they get. But, this is what makes our supporters, the battlers, the best, the fucking best in the league. Everyone loves the Battlers because they just know. They just know. We love our rugby league football. Ride or die, we are there. And this weekend just typified that. So there you go. The very first one, the Titanium Forge Player of the Week, goes to the crowd. Now, this might be, going to be absolutely fucking slammed this week, but let's...
Sorry, Justin commented 32,000 plus members.
32,000
plus members.
There you go. So we, well and truly broke the 30K. It's going to be very interesting what next year looks like. I would say, Battlers, please, keep supporting the club. I know it fucking sucks. I know it sucks. I'm going to be renewing my membership. I'm still going to be there. But I completely and utterly understand if you're just done. If you're done. If you need a break, I completely and utterly understand. But yes, this week's Titanium Forge Players of the Week, I don't know if I can use that, is brought to you by LGB Marine, the experts in building resilience on and off the water. Just like the toughest structures they construct, the Battlers have been battle-tested, unshaken, and built to withstand anything. LGB Marine. Strength, precision, resilience. Let's go. And let's move right into my Knighted Players of the Week. And you know what? It doesn't bring me much joy this week, Battlers. You know what? I'm not glazing these guys. No one was particularly great. Let's be honest. I could sit here and rattle off all the poor things the players did. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I don't think you want to sit here and listen to me just hang shit on so many bad efforts on so many things. But anyways, look, it's basically who was the best out of a bad bunch this week. Kicking it off, Dane Gagai. One thing I didn't speak about, actually, now I'm talking about Dane Gagai, was the late switch. Connor Vitano, 18th man. Who else was it? James Schiller came in. Greg Marzu pulled up. He was squatting, Lou. That's what he was doing. He was squatting too much in the gym, pulled his back, couldn't get it good in time. So Fletcher Hunt comes in. Questionable. We'll circle back to that, some of those selections there. But yes, Dane Gagai shifting back to fullback once more. Look, he didn't have a great game. I think he was just the best out of a bad bunch. Same with Brady Best, try scorer there, that bit of broken play. Jermaine McKeown, foot on the ball. Brady just happened to back up. Got a try there, is what it is. Kai Pearce-Paul, look, for the most part, defended pretty well. He had a really poor attempt on Payne Haas. Yeah, I don't know what much more to say. I'm not saying this with a great deal of confidence. These guys were absolutely outstanding and really deserved the points that I would usually give out. But I have to give out 3 points, Battlers. I have to. I can't sit here and not give them out. It is what it is. So, yes, that's my Paycat Knighted Players of the Week, brought to you by Paycat, payroll made easy by Crew and Newey who know their stuff. Whether you're paying the boys on a construction site or sorting out that tricky Shads award for your NDIS biz, Paycat makes it dead easy. They back hundreds of businesses and even help an NRL club keep their payroll running smooth. You can get the payroll. You can do payroll yourself or get the Paycat team to do it for you. Either way, you'll have more time to crack a cold one and watch the footy. But yes, let's circle back. Now, some of these selection choices, very bizarre. Very bizarre. I don't agree with dropping Connor Vitano. We all know he had a pretty tough outing last week in his debut. I would have absolutely played him. I don't know why we made that change. James Schiller, unfortunately, had a bit of a Barry Crocker defensively. It's happened before. I can't remember the game where we played him on the left center and they changed him. Remember halftime, they put Fletcher Hunt there and put him back on the wing. Why we did that again, I do not know. Very, very odd. A couple of really bizarre selection choices there. Why Jacko Hastings isn't getting picked? You cannot tell me that bloke is not the best half in the building. Regardless of how you feel about Jackson Hastings, we've seen enough, unfortunately, from Jack Cogger. It hasn't been great. Jake Arthur, unfortunately, he had a bit of a poor outing as well. Again, he's a guy rushed in there. Nothing's going right. It's hard to be super critical of Jake Arthur at this point. It's just more head-scratching selections. But yeah, I can't even sit here and look through the statistics and give you any players that I thought played remotely well, to be honest with you. Is there anyone in the comment section, Lou, that's like screaming out, going, Link, talk about this or this? It's just, I'm on fucking, it's just on repeat. I'm saying the same shit over and over.
Yeah, Groundhog Day.
It is. It really is. And I don't want to be sitting here just, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. The Battler's got anything? I've got a couple more voicemails that will.
Daniel said it says a lot about where our club is at, even with how awful our season has been. Zero footy podcasters or shows even mention us. We're completely irrelevant.
Yeah, it's not nice, is it, mate? It's not nice to be irrelevant. It sucks, dude. It sucks when you're in the spoon race, isn't it? It's shit. I don't know what else to say to that. I'm with you, dude. I'm completely with you. Well, I haven't mentioned his name yet, and for good reason, because it's going to be a huge talking point. And I'm sure there's been plenty of comments, Lou, in the comment section talking about our head coach. So let's take a listen to a couple of battlers who have called in, and let's move on to our next topic. Is it going to load? It's having a moment. Hang on. Let's go to you, Justin. Is yours going to load? Oh, no. What's going on here? Hang on. Try again.
I am definitely 100%, without any shame, have been on the sack Adam O'Brien coach for the last 6 months. You all know how I feel about Adam O'Brien, and I am once again going to say sack Adam O'Brien. Honestly, if the Titans had the balls to sack or to come out and say they are Desi is leaving at the end of the season, well, our board needs to have the balls to come out and say 2026 we'll have a new coach. Yesterday's game, painful to watch, absolutely painful to watch. It was like watching an under 16. Honestly, they played as a group of individuals. They didn't play as a team. Unfortunately, Lincoln and Lou had to put up with the turds sitting next to Link, the toilet paper jerseys that are the Broncos. Like, fuck the Broncos. I hate them. I really do. And I didn't like the fact that we lost to a team that Link had penciled in that he wanted us to win. Surely the Knights could have won one game for Link. One game against the team he hates the most. But it wasn't to be. But anyway, it was another tough carry for you, mate. But you did good.
Oh, thanks, Justin. Cheers, pal. Yeah, mate, I've had that one fucking penciled in a long time, buddy.
Did you check how they went after I served them up their laxative pies?
Don't know. I hope Hef shit himself in the Uber. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Justin. Let's take a listen to Clinton's. It's of the similar ilk.
With AOB at the helm, we will never win a premiership. We'll never get any better than 8th spot in the ladder. We'll never succeed if we keep this up. We need a coach in attack and defense. We can't keep this up. It's going to kill us, the club, the fans. Just going to walk out and leave and never return. But no one seems to get it, and no one seems to understand. No one seems to give a shit.
Oh, all right. Adam O'Brien. Now, news out today. Josh Hannay signing with the Gold Coast Titans. So that's why I put out the post, because I would have thought if we were going to move on from Adam O'Brien, Josh Hannay was going to be the dude, because we know Brad Arthur re-signed with Leeds. They were the two candidates. If it wasn't going to be either one of those two guys, I don't know who else it was going to be. So the fact that Hannay's now moved off the board, and I suspect that deal would have been done with the Titans for the last couple of weeks. I don't think this was like after that catastrophic fucking events that happened on the Gold Coast. They've made this decision overnight. This would have been lined up for a while. So I get a growing sense that we are going to be heading into 2026 with Adam O'Brien. It's simply because I don't know who else is out there as a genuine long-term option. You let me know if whoever is left, because I can tell you now, Brian McDermott, who's done a sensational job for the most part defensively with our team. I know we've fallen off a cliff of late. he isn't going to be considered. Why Blake Green's name is getting thrown around, I do not get. I don't understand one bit. Like, am I an idiot for going, you got one of the worst attacking records in our history, and probably in NRL history, and he's the coach for the attack. How is he possibly being considered? How? What am I missing there? I just don't know who else is out there. Like, I don't know, because they were my two. Was Brad Arthur, recently Josh Hannay. Not that I had him recently, but I started hearing enough about him and went, yeah, all right, I'd consider Josh Hannay. I'd consider that. I don't know. Is there anyone mentioning anyone, Lou? Like, I seriously can't think of anyone. None one's coming to the top of my head. That would be a serious option.
Joseph said, not Des, please.
Oh, fuck no, not Des. Absolutely not. I saw a good shout. Maybe Desi. I reckon there could be a masterstroke. Desi as the Blues coach. I think that could work. I reckon he's kind of the guy. I reckon I would have more confidence in Des being a rep coach than Laurie Daly. You let me know that. But anyways, that's getting a bit sidetracked. But
Matthew said, what has hurt us is we've sat back not knowing whether we do or don't sack him. We have missed the boat if we wanted to act first and get Hannay. Don't tell me Blake Green is the answer.
Yeah, that's why the fact that Hannay is now off the table would suggest to me, no, the Knights are going to ride it. They're going to give him another season. They're going to look at this, because I can't remember, there was a board member that talked about it. And they spoke about the injuries, and we know we've had our injuries, and so does plenty of other clubs, right? And the fact that we've got Dill Brown coming to the club. So it would appear from the outside looking in that it looks like they're going to just ride this out and going to give Adam O'Brien the keys in 2026 to get Dill Brown in.
Saying the Walker brothers.
That would be exciting.
Carl said, bit of a risk, but the Walker brothers would certainly create some attack.
They absolutely would. Do you know what? Let's get the Walker brothers in purely. Let's see what they could do in an attack. I would bring them in for that. Attacking consultants, or just give them the fucking attacking coach gig. Let's do that. And if they work wonders with the attack and it works, fuck, who knows? Maybe there's a succession plan there, but.
Well said, Michael Hagan.
Oh, mate, how good it'd be to have Michael Hagan back. Wouldn't that be a story? Yeah, because, I think a lot of people were sort of crediting him for a lot of the stuff behind the scenes for that dynasty that the Queenslanders had. He was a big part in that. I would not knock that at all, mate. It was one of the worst decisions we ever made. I think if we had a crystal ball, we could go back in time. It would be not to make the decision to get rid of Michael Hagan and bring in bloody, what's his name? Brian Smith. Terrible decision. One of the top 3 worst decisions the Newcastle Knights ever made. Anyways, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole again. But yeah, I think we're just at the point now. I don't know who we go with, and you got to remember, you got Kalen Ponga now. It's going to be if we're any chance of keeping Kalen Ponga at the club, we need to have a fucking good year next year. If we have another fucking stinker, I don't know if we're any chance of possibly renewing him. It'd just be a case of either he would want out early, or 27 he is definitely gone to Union or elsewhere. Who knows? We're just going to squander it. I don't know. It's I'm just preparing myself for the fact that I think Adam O'Brien is going to continue as coach in 2026. But yeah, as I said, I just don't know who else who else do you bring in? They were the 2 guys. But anyways, all right. I think that just about wraps up Atlas. To basically wrap that game up to wrap a turd up in a bow, so to speak. Newcastle Knights completely well and truly off the pace right from the get-go. We managed to somehow get back into the game, and it was more so not us forcing our way back in the game, but the Brisbane Broncos, taking the foot off the gas. They were a little bit clunky and gave us plenty of opportunities. I think there was one point there. I think we had 20 tackles to maybe their 4 in the red zone, which was crazy. We were dominating them in that regard. They were sort of scoring long range stuff, but we had plenty of opportunities there. Certainly did not ice them. Completely and utterly disconnected. As Justin said, it looked just a team of individuals. It wasn't any structure at all, was it? Just watching it, it was just. And then the disappointing part, the Broncos scored in so many different fashions. And what typified was that Jordan Ricky try. I think it was the last try of the game. You had unfortunately young Tommy Kent and young McEwen. Just the most poor, lazy effort of a tackle. Like, it literally was like two guys just giving him a hug, and he just bumped them so easy. That was so fucking disappointing. You know, from what we've seen earlier in the year, to see that's what we've come to, was really, really fucking disheartening. And yeah, it's what more can I fucking hate doing reviews like this. I really do, because it's just, I feel like I'm wandering around aimlessly. I don't have a compass to look to. There's no moments I can pick and dissect and analyze, because it was just a team that went out there that just, they're there, but they're not there. You know what I mean? Their mind's elsewhere. And that's what we saw. And, you know, fuck, next week, the bookies have us at $6 against the Sharks. Oh, God. That's going to be a nice, fun night's watch, Lou. Look forward to that one. Anyways, but yes, all right, let's do it. Let's move along, shall we, to your burning questions, brought to you by Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training. If you work in a business, battlers, chances are you probably aren't prepared for fire or emergency, so make sure you get in contact with Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training for your training, plans, procedures, because if you do not learn, you will burn. All right, what do we got, Lou?
Daniel asks, how many players have gone through the club since AOB started? Got to be up to 100.
It's funny you mention that. I don't know why I remember it. It just stuck in my head. Your boy Pastrami Saulo, he was night number 300. And I think, what are we up to now? What was Connor Vitano? 360? First battler who can tell me that. 10 points to you. I think we're up to about 3. I don't think we cracked 400, but you let me know. But I think Pasami, didn't he debut under Nathan Brown? So if that's the case, maybe around half that, but feels like a few. But my math could be way off, dude. But I don't know why I remember Pastrami Saulo being night number 300. It's just a random fact that's always stuck with me.
Matthews asks, what do you want to see from our boys for the last 2 weeks of the season?
Oh, mate, how long you got, dude? I want to see that team that I don't know. I hate being too harsh. It just gives a shit. You know what I mean? Just has a dig. That's all we want. That's all we want. You know, we've seen our team get beaten by better teams, but and they've been applauded off the field because they had a fucking crack. They had a red hot crack. And at the moment, we're not seeing that at all. Like, it is just, you know, we know what we can do defensively. We know we got key players out. Just having a fucking red hot crack, get that defense back to what it was, what we know it can be. There's no excuses. There's absolutely no excuses as to why our defense has fallen off a cliff, because even with the injuries that we have had, we still maintained our defense well after some key injuries came in. The attack is the attack. It is what it is. But yeah, get the defense back to what it is and just play some fucking footy. We look like a team that just isn't enjoying football. You know, we reek of a team that has no hope, obviously, of playing finals. Fucking in the spoon race, for God's sake, which we could still end up winning the spoon. How often do you see a club fucking sack their coach and the next week they come out and put a fucking clinic on? So that's got me shitting bricks about the Titans. They got a real good run home too. So yeah, I don't know. There's so much motivation there for a team that hasn't got hope to play finals to still have something. It's not like we're a team that's not in the spoon race. You know, they can sort of sit around 10th, 12th. You know, we've had so much motivation, and still to come up with that was just, yeah.
Tony said we're up to 364.
Oh, didn't I say 360 something?
I think so.
There you go. I've got a feeling Pasami, I reckon he debuted under Brownie. I'm just trying to remember. I'm just trying to think who would have come in under Adam O'Brien? Who would have been the first night on him? So, yeah, you'd have to say maybe about 50 odd. I'd say Adam O'Brien's had about 50 players come and go, sort of thing. So, it wasn't far off the mark. I'm fucking using my math is shit.
Brett said, Link, you raise a good point. So what coaches come off contract at the end of 2026?
That's a very fucking good point. I'll take a look at that next year. Not next year. I'll take a look at that between now and the next show as to who's available. Yeah. Is it? I'm just trying to remember. When was the last time a coach was actually poached, though? You know what I mean? It's not how I genuinely, in trying to remember a time, a coach was going so well. Oh, maybe was it Seabold to the Broncos? Remember, Seabold won the Dally M Coach of the Year in 2018, and then the Broncos got him. Maybe that was it, because I'm sure Souths wanted to keep him. He's obviously just won the Dally M Coach of the Year, and he had a pretty good season there. It's pretty uncommon. It's very uncommon for a team to pluck a successful coach out of a system and into a struggling club. Usually have to just, someone who's been out in the wilderness, you've got to take a punt on a Super League coach, like a Josh Hannay type, a guy that's, an up-and-comer that's touted, kind of like the Sharkies did with Craig Fitzgibbon. I just don't know who do you go for. Like I know Adam O'Brien has divided a lot of people, but you got to ask yourself, all right, do we go with someone who is way down the list that no one else wants, that no one else is even chasing, right? Do you just for the sake of change do that and hope for the best, or do you hedge your bets on a guy that has got us to finals, that we had a real killer streak with? We won a finals game. I know 24 was, we got the finals again and we bowed out. You got to ask yourself that question, and it's the old adage: when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And I don't know if are we a better shot of still having Adam O'Brien in the building for one more season, or bringing in someone we have no idea who could honestly be worse? Who knows? But I understand. I completely. I don't twist it. I'm not sitting here and trying to protect Adam O'Brien or not say anything bad about him. I've certainly got my criticisms about Adam O'Brien, but I'm just at this point. I was like, who do you honestly bring in? It's not like there's this one guy out there like, fuck, he's the guy, and we're going to miss out on him. It's all taken. They're all gone. So, anyways.
Matthew's asked, who would you say, in your opinion, has been our best all-round player this year?
Oh, great question, Matthew. I would have to say it comes down to two dudes. It's either going to be Razor Sharp or Dill Lucas. Very fucking close between them. And I would throw Dane Gagai in the mix. It's going to be one of those three. I reckon purely based on the amount of games he's played, you'd have to probably say Dane, if they're going to go probably off a little bit of recency bias and stuff. If the later in the year, the awards show, I think he's probably short favourites to win the Danny Medeiros medal. But I certainly think it would be one of those three. Razor having a fucking sensational season. God, could you only imagine had he stayed healthy, some of the stuff we would have seen. And Dill Lucas is just going strength to strength, man. He is seriously. I got fucking hammered for saying lock it in. This dude will play Origin football. And how many people are starting to talk the talk about Origin camp, emerging Blues camp, all the rest of it. But yeah, I'd probably say Gags, Dill Lucas, Razor. That's my 3-2-1 or 1-2-3.
Clinton's asked, do you think the culture is different now to when the old boys played?
Oh, fucking oath, brother. Chalk and cheese, dude. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that at all, man. Wouldn't doubt that whatsoever. Yeah, it certainly would have changed. It probably, to be honest, I don't think you can have the same mentality that some of the old boys probably brought. It's a more professional sport now, and all the rest of it. A lot of stuff the old boys would have done that you wouldn't fucking do nowadays. It just wouldn't fly. But as far as like the fundamental stuff, that's the disappointing part is the way we performed in front of the old boys, because you talk to old players. I was talking to Wally Lewis about this last week. Even he said, because I asked him, I said, Wally, who was the toughest Newcastle Knight you ever played against? And he seriously couldn't give me a straight answer. He goes, look, Link, I'm telling you, mate, you fucking knew when you went to Newcastle, it was going to be tough. And you hear it so many times. Like, we didn't have, the salary cap, the salary cap was in when we first came in, I think in our first 2 seasons. So, we didn't have a star-studded side, but we had tough bastards playing for the team. You had that tough mentality, and that was what the Knights were founded upon. And that's what sucks when you perform like this in front of these guys who laid those very foundations for our club, who had brought great success to the club. To see that performance put in front of them just fucking breaks your heart. I could only imagine how disappointed they would be. So that culture you would love to see back. You'd love to see that steely Nitanium defense, that was from yesteryear, which was there. I'm going around in circles here, but yeah, it's clearly the cultures. The cultures, I don't know. Is the culture, Paul? I've never really talked about the culture of the Newcastle Knights. I don't think it's really a culture problem. I think it's game script and coaching is the big blight on the Knights. I think the roster's pretty good. I think the backline's slick. Clearly, we've got some issues in the forwards. The spine needs a bit of work, which we've done a lot to. If we get Sandor Smith and we've got Dill Brown coming. Back rowers we're absolutely stacked with. We've got the back row position between McEwen and Lucas is in very good hands. There's a lot worse rosters. It's just we're not playing to our strengths whatsoever. And yeah, that sucks. It's breaking my heart.
Nicholas asks, is there any great assistant coaches that are ready for first grade?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of guys, because look, I don't keep an eye on like the rival clubs too much. But even then, I really can't think of anyone who's sort of been spoken about as like, as I said, like Craig Fitzgibbon a couple of years ago, he was going to be the next dude up. One guy, I suppose, Matt King. I've heard Matt King's name thrown around a bit for Origin and that. Apparently, he's got a pretty good resume he's putting together. I think he's in the Roosters system at the moment. But even then, like you look at it, Adam O'Brien had probably the greatest coaching apprenticeship you could have. He spent a decade under Craig Bellamy, which is fucking unheard of. To spend 10 years at the most successful sporting club in Australia, not just in fucking rugby league, in Australia. The Melbourne Storm, I can't remember, I think it is now, they had the best winning percentage, I think, out of any sporting team in the fucking planet. It was them and the Patriots, and I think they've just pipped the fucking Patriots now. That's how fucking good Craig Bellamy is. He did 10 years there, and didn't he do, I think it was at least 1 year or maybe 2 years under Trent Robertson at the Roosters when they were going back-to-back grand finals. A 12-year apprenticeship under 2 highly successful coaches, 2 highly organised and successful clubs. And when the news came about Adam O'Brien, you go, here's a guy that's been around over a decade with 2 absolute masterminds who had great success in rugby league. So, I don't know. Sometimes, are we at a point where we just need that tested coach? We can't roll the dice. That's why I thought Brad Arthur was going to be a good fit, but clearly he's staying at Leeds. But anyways,
Laurie asks, do you think Peter Parr will create a better footy play environment for the team?
Yep, absolutely, dude. Absolutely, Laurie. Sorry. Now, we know Phil Gardner stepping down from that dual role between the West Group and CEO of the Knights. I would assume that now Peter Parr's in there full time. I think it's the very first time we've had a full time CEO in that capacity for quite some time. I'd imagine that it would streamline a lot of things coming from where he's been as football manager to step up into that role. I think it'll probably streamline some things, and it might make it easier to get some certain things done, I'm assuming. And I don't think anyone's sitting here knocking a lot of the work Peter Parr's done behind the scenes. And I've actually been really impressed at how quickly a lot of this stuff come to bear the juniors being the big thing. I really didn't think we were going to get this many guys this quickly. So yeah, that's a really good point that you bring up. That's something heading into the new year. I'm sure with him at the helm, he's gonna want to get his fingerprint on this club a lot more. He's going to have more power and more say, and he's going to be at the top of the food chain. So whatever he says goes. So yeah, that could be massive too. We talked about Matt Lantry coming into the pathway system. Well, Peter Parr being the overarching figure for the club could be huge. Could really be a big deal. It'd be interesting to sort of see what he would have planned in the background. So yeah, that's a good point. Good question, Laurie. 10 points to you for that one.
Mike's asked, assuming all our potential signings go through, what does our strongest side next year look like?
Ooh, all right, let's run through it. I like this one. Let's have a bit of fun. All right, fullback, Kalen Ponga. Wingers, you're going to have Dominic Young, and you're still going to have Greg Marzu. You're going to have Greg Marzu there. You know what he's going to do on the high ball stuff, but we even have Brett, that pain in the ass Brett Heffernan. 10 points to him for doing his homework on Greg Marzu. The bloke was that nervous. I think he's just done all his research on Knights players so he could have something to talk about, and then he gets scratched. But even he said, I think he's got the most post-contact meters of any player in the NRL. His groundwork sensational. Even opposition, supporters realise how fucking integral Greg Marzu is. He's going to be there. Obviously, Brady Best, Dane Gagai. They're going to be your centers. So that's your back line. The 2023 fucking back line's going to do their thing once more. Back row, right edge back row, you can have Jermaine McEwen taking that place of Kai Pearce-Paul. Dill Lucas, Mr. Foot Fetish, he's going to be there on the left. Say no more there. You're going to have JSAF. He's going to be the big alpha dog leading the pack in the middle. Then you're going to have Trey Mooney. Again, hasn't been confirmed, but I'm pretty sure, I think we're 99% all of us are there that he is going to be coming to the club. So they will be the starting props. And you're going to have Phoenix Crossland at lock. Moving down into the spine, you can have Razor at number 7. Again, the invitation's there. If you tell me why he can't play halfback, he will be our halfback. Dill Brown will be our 6. Number 9, you would assume is going to be Sandon Smith. If the news is, from what I'm hearing, it looks like it's a 3-year deal is done. That's going to be a spine. Bench is going to be interesting. You probably Pasami Solo, you would assume, coming back from the Raiders. You got guys like Matty Croker, Tommy Cant. You got some young guys too. Lockie Crouch is doing some really good things in Cup from what I'm hearing. Who else we got? I'm trying to think who else have we brought in. You got that Peter Holler who come from North Devils and another ex-Raiders player also. You got some young guys like Will Sullivan. I feel like there's someone I'm just missing. Everyone's going to be screaming at me about. The bench is a bit undecided, which I guess is okay. Maybe a Matty Arthur at 14. But yeah, the makeup, the 1 to 13, I can see in my head pretty clearly, mate, as what the Newcastle Knights are going to be rolling out next year. Yeah.
Sal's asked, so who are you wanting to win the grand final? I think it's going to be a very tough final series.
Yeah, it's a far more interesting final series, I think, than what we've had in recent years, because Penrith have just been so dominant for so long. The fact that the Raiders pipped them, and they are, what are they, like 4 points clear at this point of time? There's a few for different reasons. I would love the Raiders to get there. Obviously, my brother's a mad Raiders supporter, so they're very much loved. I've always liked Raiders supporters. I've always felt they're very similar to us in a lot of regards. Look, I love the Wars. Unfortunately, I just think, and even I think in the back of their heads, had they got Lukey Metcalf and Mitchie Barnett there, maybe. I just think a couple of massive injuries. They're doing well to hang in there, though. I'll give them that. They're going to be in finals. They're going to give themselves a shot, but I just feel like there's some teams that are healthier and probably got a bit more momentum. I would love for them to get their first premiership, though. That'd be fucking unreal. I'm not all against Penrith going again, just because they've earned it, because they've been the fucking best club for so fucking long and they're that far in front. And I want to witness greatness. We've already had 4 in a row. What's 5 in a row? Yeah, that'd be mine, I think. They would be, Canberra. I don't think Wars are going to be there, and Penrith. I don't want Storm. I don't want Broncos. Sharkies give me the shits. Who else am I missing? I don't think the Doggies are ready. You know, as exciting as that would be for the game, and you could only imagine if the Dogs make the grand final, the scenes that would create. I just don't. They're exciting. They're building, but I just don't think they're quite ready to go against some of these other teams. I think they're a bit more battle hardened when it comes to finals football. But yeah, there you go. Great question tonight, Battlers. Very good. Very good. All right, Battlers, if you haven't done so already, make sure you give the live stream a big old thumbs up. It really does help us out, particularly on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, give that fucking big old thumbs up. It does go a long, long way. If you're listening to the podcast thereafter, you're in your car, wherever you are listening to this, you might be on the treadmill. What else could you possibly be doing, Lou? You might be mowing the lawn.
Drinking some Russ Energy.
Drinking some Russ. If you're drinking Russ Energy, I swear you're going to be pounding it like 100 times. It's going to be going, anyways, give it a big old 5-star review. But yes, we'll be coming to you tomorrow night as we do the roster review show for the upcoming game against the Sharks. So make sure you stay tuned for that one tomorrow night. But Battlers, I'm going to go sink some Russ Energy drink and get the Adam O'Brien out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the roster review show.
You.